and Vital One. And so, and you can tell I did not pace those out very well. We're going to walk through this. So I want to start off by skipping to the end. Oh, let's go back to this one. This. All right. If I was to ask you guys, where would you go? You need vitamin C. You're a pirate. You've been on the ocean for 4 months. You've got scurvy. You need your vitamin C. Where would you go to get your vitamin C?
So
oranges. All right.
Well, there
you're
you
good.
go.
Okay.
I love it.
Now you're sitting here and it's 1912 and you've got pellagra, itching, you're getting a little like, multiple personalities, you're twitching.
Thank you.
And you need niacin. Where would you get that?
Is that it? Have a good day. Have a great day.
Oh, that's a problem. That explains why there's so many people talking to themselves in the street today. We're really good at knowing where to get our vitamin C, but when it comes to niacin, we're just loony. All right, let's see. Right there poses the problem. We're really good at vitamin A, you'd say, carrot.
Thank you.
Vitamin D, I might lose a few of you. Someone might say, hey, mushrooms that are treated with sun can be enriched in vitamin D.
How good?
Right?
How are you?
A little milk. But shortly after that, it falls down quickly. Right? Now, here's what's interesting, is there's about 26 vitamins and minerals that are essential. As scientists, we use the word essential very specifically. Essential means if you don't get it in your diet, you die. Isn't that crazy? There's 26 of them, and you can tell me where 3 of them are found. You've just outsourced all of that to the willy-nilly things of the world, right? And so what's happened is because of that, we have simply become naive to being able to control our health and wellness. Now, granted, none of us have scurvy. Good job. But there's so much more to that. Now, what is sad in today's world is if we look at the fruits and vegetables that come on our plate, they are not very diverse. Last night, I got in and I had a little steak dinner type thing brought to my room, and they're like, what sides would you want? And I looked at the sides, and this place advertises as being a healthy restaurant. And I look at the sides, it was broccoli, it was assorted vegetables. I asked what the assorted vegetables were. They said broccoli and cauliflower. And then I saw cauliflower was another one. And I was like, interesting. And then there was steamed carrots. And then there was what is it? It's like mushrooms. And I bet you if you go to any steak restaurant, it is those same things. And if you go to any supermarket and you open up the freezer, you're likely going to find the same things. You might see that old bag of frozen corn in the freezer and maybe some peas. We're really sitting here and there's 26 essential vitamins and minerals, and we're really just eating the same 4 or 5 fruits and vegetables every day. You could imagine what we're missing. And so this is the challenge that we're running into today, is the complexity of trying to find all of the different fruits and vegetables and to bring them together and to get us what we're looking for. And because we have outsourced that, and we're no longer getting our nutrition from its natural sources of fruits and vegetables, we've outsourced it to, as Mark was saying, your Captain Crunch. I like to give the Fruity Pebbles because how cool is it? They use the word fruit in there. And you look at the side panel and it's got like 25% of everything. You're like, this is the most amazing fruit ever. I'll have like 12 servings of this, right? Well, no, see, the problem is what's happened is because now all of those nutrients are being added in synthetically. Those are synthetic derivatives of those nutrients because it's not expected for us to get our vitamins from plants anymore. We simply don't do it. And that is a huge calamity we're facing today. So what we wanted to do is when we looked at Vital One, we looked at the challenges we're facing in today's world. And the first challenge we have is we are not eating diverse fruits and vegetables. We used to. If we went back in time, you would have a very diverse fruits and vegetables based upon what was in season. Now, they don't worry about that. They just now simplify the supply chain to where you always, ironically, have strawberries in season. That's a little dumbfounding, isn't it? So the first thing we wanted to do is we wanted to give diversity to the nutrients that our body needs. And so when you look at Vital One, you can look across and see, now this is just a small tidbit of what is in there. And this is something that is very important because now what we are doing is we are taking the complexities of going to the supermarket and finding all of these different things and bringing them together. And then, if that's not hard enough, prepping them all. And then if that's not hard enough, getting somebody to eat it. All right? I remember doing that. My wife, I call it passive bragging. You guys call it social media. But I remember my wife went away and I was like, I'm going to show her how easy this parenting thing is. And so what I did is I made this beautiful meal of all these like fruits and vegetables. You do the picture, hoping she sees it. And then it shows me with the kids all cutting it up. We do the picture. I'm like, oh, happen to take that picture, post it. I set the table. It's all beautiful. Show that on the stories. And then I sit down and eat it. And I realize I'm the only one eating it. And then it was at that moment that I realized that show, Leave It to Beaver, was full of malarkey. Nobody, like my daughter was like, okay, Dad, this is good. Where's the McDonald's? Right? So that diversity, we brought that complexity to you. The next thing is when we talk about the diversity of the types of plants, you'll notice in here, there's also diversity of stage. What do I mean by diversity of stage of plants? Gosh, now I know why they have me doing a PowerPoint. You guys can't read that, huh? I don't need to bring a diploma to prove that I got a doctorate. You just have to see this handwriting. Okay. Oh, as if that's yeah, because it was the font that was separating you guys being able to read that. Types of plants. Types of plants is the first one. The second one is going to be the stage of plant. Now, the stage of plants is different. This is the same type of plant, but at different stages through its life cycle. Right? So you're right now looking at midlife crisis, Josh. Okay? We go back 30 years ago, it was overconfident teenage Josh. Completely different types of Joshes, but still the same Josh. Plants are the same thing. They have this. When I was 18 years old, my testosterone was through the roof, right? Right now, cortisol is through the roof. Hello, midlife, right? And so in this situation, this is two very different types of plant. Well, that fits very well. Two different types of plant, even though it's still just Josh through the time. The stage is very important because each stage of a plant has very different nutrient values and contributions. So teenage Josh has different values and contributions versus midlife Josh. Very different. Now, if you notice, just on this, we have this for several different botanicals, but I'm just going to highlight it on this one. Broccoli sprouts, and then the actual full broccoli. Broccoli sprouts, the reason we went to get these broccoli sprouts, there is a compound in there called glucofuranin. Glucofuranin, exceptionally complicated to say, and I never want you to try to repeat that. But what it does is when glucofuranin comes into our body, the microflora in our gut actually convert it to sulforaphane. Again, don't even try to repeat that. But that is one of the most powerful compounds in helping our body stay young and vibrant. In fact, its discovery out of Johns Hopkins by the scientists who did it Popular Science has deemed it one of the top 100 discoveries in the last 100 years. So this is a fear fan. But here's what's crazy. You're like, oh, it's in broccoli. No, 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 no. It's actually only viable in the first 3 days of the broccoli sprouts. Isn't that crazy? It quickly falls off. It's like that confidence as a teenager. It quickly fell off once I got married. My wife did amazing at bringing me to reality, right? And now I'm a full-grown broccoli. No more glucopharanin. But you know what I do have now is I have folate, right? I didn't have that as a sprout. And so you can see that these nutrients differ as they come and go. So we wanted to also give the different stages. So now you could imagine as you're going into the supermarket, you're going to get all the different types of plants. Hey, good job. Well done. Did you get all the different stages of the types of plants you need? Oh, now it's even more difficult. Now we're going even a step further. The parts of the plant. This is also very different. To the person over here who gave the wonderful answer, if I needed vitamin C, you said an orange. I don't know, everyone said it. Now, would you get that same vitamin C if I had you chew on the bark of the orange tree? No. Guess what? It would likely be labeled the same, orange tree. But the same tree, one part is enriched in vitamin C, the other is enriched in bloody gums, right? It's not going to do much for you. And so that part is also exceptionally important. And different plants have different nutrients in the different parts of where they're at. Oh, now we're getting very complicated. Now, as you're walking through that supermarket and you're looking and you're saying, hey, I got the orange, I got my vitamin C. You'd be like, hey, did you also know that there are certain compounds in the orange tree leaf that you could be using? Or, well, case in point, a lot of us actually will use the peel to make a little zest, right? There's certain citron components in those pills that are very beneficial, but we don't eat those, right? It's either too bitter, it's too difficult, it's hard to find. And so now, utilizing the extensive scientific knowledge that our team has and looking at what is needed, we then were able to identify the different parts of these nutritional botanicals to deliver to. So the reason I'm going through just this is you could imagine the complexity behind bringing out vitality for you today is simply infeasible in today's world. We haven't even talked about cost yet. Going through all of this, prepping it. Now, make sure your broccoli sprouts are no more than 3 days old. You go to the supermarket on a Tuesday and you're getting ready to make that wonderful breakfast on a Saturday. Oh, the broccoli sprouts have lost their potency, right? You can see the challenges throughout all of this. And we haven't even gotten to the fourth part yet. And this fourth part is also super critical because it can do the other three and it can make it all for naught. You can imagine I do these three and then all of a sudden you put it in a giant oven and you cook it, all gone, or many of it is gone. And so what we have also done in this is the preparation is done in a way to preserve the nutrients, utilizing not high heat, not putting it in the sun. So for example, high heat will ruin a lot of the nutritional value. Putting it in the sun, that ultraviolet radiation comes in and it does what's called cross-linking. That makes that nutrient actually form new types of bonds, which sounds kind of cool, but it makes it not viable in our body. And so what happens is you do all of those things, but if it's prepared wrong, it's all for naught. And so we have gone through extensive work to make sure it is prepared correctly. Now, the reason that I've walked through this, and I'll now go through some of these slides, is when we go through this, I'll highlight, for example, Moringa oleifera. This is one of the botanicals we use in here. I spoke earlier about broccoli sprouts, spinach stems. All of these things are in here, the right types of botanicals, the right stages of their development, the right parts of those botanicals, and the right preparation. Let's focus in on Moringa oleifera. So Moringa oleifera, deemed to be one of the most nutritiously, if not the most nutritiously dense botanical on Earth. That's a huge thing to say. I like to refer to it as kind of like nature's multivitamin. I love this botanical for numerous reasons. In fact, the World Health Organization also likes this botanical to be kind of planted in developing areas where malnutrition is so prominent. The reason is because this single tree, it's a tree, I want you to understand that, the single tree collectively has a variety, diverse, from the vitamin A's to the vitamin C's to the potassiums to proteins in one single tree. Now, in this, it's a tree. How many people think it's easy to put a tree in water and eat it? It's quite challenging. So what we have utilized is making sure the team has done extensive research to make sure that we're utilizing the nutritional components of this tree. The leaves, the seeds, and the fruit. Now this cool looking tree, you can see here the leaves, those things that are hanging down, those are the fruits. And then inside the fruit is the seed. Utilizing and isolating those different components individually gives us the ability to take the diverse nutritional value that that moringa tree has and to bring it about. Now, in addition to this, utilizing and harvesting them the right stage of development is also critical. Working in that supply chain to ensure that we are locking arms with suppliers that are growing it in the right location so that it is of the most nutritiously dense value and harvesting at the correct time to get that nutritional aspect and taking in consideration those right parts. Now, as we go through this, you look at this and gram for gram, it is amazing. But more important than that is that nutrition is not sacrificed. We go through extensive work to actually shade dry moringa leaves. What does that mean? So what it is you actually will lay the leaves out very thin over hundreds of square meters. And it's in a covered type canopy. And it's slowly dried over the course of numerous days. Now, that sounds cool, sounds easy. Hey, Josh, you just leave it out in the shade, let it slowly dry for numerous days. Problem is that it's exceptionally difficult in that supply chain sourcing. Because what you can easily do is you go through and you put it through a fast oven and you have that ready in 30 minutes, right? That is the typical way in which a lot of botanicals are prepared. And so utilizing that infrastructure to do it at the right time, that is actually done at or near the farms, that shade drying, to ensure that that nutrient. And the beautiful thing about Moringa oleifera is when it is slowly shade dry, the cells in that, the cell walls slowly constrict and kind of come closer together, allowing those nutrients inside the cell to remain intact without rupturing that cell wall. That cell wall is what protects those nutrients. And so when you do that, it becomes very stable. That cell wall just slowly shrinks and becomes a little bit of a safe haven for those nutrients. If you do it too fast, the cell shrinks too fast and that wall bursts, it cracks open, and you're exposing the nutrients to degradation and everything else. And so that slow drying is really what allows that nutrient preservation to take place. Now, in this, utilizing this Moringa oleifera, we have sourced it from premium locations, India, utilizing that shade drying, but we are also making sure that we are getting that nutrient value that is derived from botanicals. And so when we look at this product, I am proud to say that the nutritional value that you see on this, the A's, the C's, and so forth, are derived from plants only. That is very, very difficult to do. In fact, if you look at other greens products that are out there on the market and they show significant amounts of vitamins, I guarantee you that they are likely synthetically added. You are putting in performance enhancing nutrients into that. And that is crazy. When people are out to buy something, greens, that is there to give them something close to nature, and people are then spiking in synthetic nutrients, but the consumers are largely unaware, I feel that you are not being completely forthright. And so this Vital One is the first of its kind, at least that I'm aware of, and it's my job to be aware of it, that is deriving its nutritional value that is of significance only from the botanicals. And this is so revolutionary because what we have done now is we have taken all of this complexity, all of the different types, stages, the parts, and the preparations, right? Making sure you slowly put it in the dehydrator for 4 days before you serve it to your kids. Who does that, right? We have done all of this for you. And the beautiful thing is just like Mark, who ordered his coffee from Starbucks, I just got one as well. I pretty much just covered half of the month's supply with one Starbucks. And all they did is put water over beans. You can see the value behind this product and what it does for you. And by looking and going through and harvesting all of the complexities to get the true potential of what nature has to offer is not only likely unfeasible, it is also, if it is at all feasible, highly economically not plausible in today's world. And so this product that the team has developed, I am so proud of. I am so proud of because what we have done is we have been able to give a beautiful partnership. As individuals utilize the drops and they change their eating behaviors following the meal plan, what we are doing is it now allows for a beautiful partner with that is helping to address the nutritional pitfalls. So as you're losing weight and eating the right foods, we have taken the complexity out of so much of that and delivered it to you in a very easy to drink, convenient product. Now, the best way to take this product is to take it on an empty stomach. First thing in the morning, mixing it with cold or lukewarm water. Now, the reason I'm going to say it's the best is because a lot of times people will say, oh my goodness, I forgot, I'm not going to take it. No, don't let good don't let perfect get in the way of good. Best time to take it is in the morning on an empty stomach with cold or lukewarm water. Now, if you forget, it is still way better to take it midday than to not take it at all. So the best in the morning on an empty stomach. What the reason that is your body is very primed to be taken in that nutritional component in the morning when it's on that empty stomach. Because your body only has so many receptors. And so you're wanting to make sure you maximize those receptors with that Vital One, right? If I'm eating it with my waffles in the morning, right? What's going to happen is a lot of those receptors are going to be taken up by the waffles that are coming in, not allowing for that maximum absorption of that Vital One. So that will allow you to have that. So take it first thing in the morning, empty stomach with cold or lukewarm water is a great thing to do. However, 100% of the time, it only works if it goes in the mouth, right? So if you were like, oh, I didn't take it in the morning, guess what? You still have to still take it, right? 98% is still better than 0%. Okay? Now, in this, I really want individuals to understand the beauty of this product, the complexity of this. It is my goal as a scientist to make our chief operating officer's life a living hell. You can imagine the complexity of all of this. And the beautiful thing is you've outsourced that complexity to a guy who's already bald. He's not going to lose any more hair over this. And so that is the power of what we have here at Partner Co. We are utilizing the infrastructure we have, the knowledge of an incredible scientific team and our relationships to bring about to you something that is needed in today's world, that isn't cutting corners, that is making your life easier, but not sacrificing the good for the sake of easy.